promises. Scandal now in its second season airs Thursday nights at 10 on ABC. So you're now seeing from Scandal.
Here's what's great about having someone attempt to assassinate you. You're being rushed somewhere on a gurney, and doctors are yelling, and blood is pouring out of you, and you could die. And you suddenly stop being afraid of anything or anyone. And when you don't die, when you miraculously live, you realize that you have nothing to lose and no time to waste. This is going to happen, Cyrus. I am going to divorce Mellie, and I'm going to remain president of the United States after I do so. That is today's big idea. That's my job. Do your job. Work out the details. Make it happen.
You are out of your mind.
That's true.
The president cannot, a sitting president cannot divorce his wife.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. Yeah, fits my character. He's got a few problems on his plate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back to that. So when you saw this come across your desk, what is it that most intrigued you about wanting to play this? And I asked that question of you specifically, Tony, because there have been countless folk who play President of the United States. But this moment, with all the hype and the celebrity appeal and the vigor and youth of the Obama administration, I mean, there's just so much focus, not that there isn't always, but so much focus placed on this White House, and you got to play the president in a television series. What made you want to do this?
Well, that was part of it.
Right.
I feel like we're at a moment where there's a renewed interest in glamour and a kind of new generation, interested in politics, which is something I've always been fascinated with. The biggest reasons for me was the combination of Kerry Washington and Shonda Rhimes. I'd been dying to work with Kerry. We were very friendly through politics and social advocacy, but I just had for a long time felt that Kerry is one of our best actresses, film actresses working. And then when I heard Shonda had created the show for her, I knew that would be a really interesting, exciting combination. And then, when Shonda asked me to do it, I thought, well, Shonda Rhimes is going to write a really fun president. And if there's a potential love interest with Kerry Washington, that's something you don't want to turn down. for a lot of reasons.
So you're going to leave your white wife for the sister. That would be Scandal.
That's right.
The name is appropriate. Since you mentioned Shonda, and I'm glad you went there because I was going to go there anyway, but what do you make? You've been around this business for quite a while. What do you make of the success that she has done? We've met a couple of times, but the success that she's had, I should say, in a relatively short period of time. There's no such thing as overnight success in this town, but she's gone from Grey's Anatomy to Private Practice to Scandal. She's got some hits under her belt in a relatively short period of time. Yeah,
I met Shonda right as Grey's was getting started. I directed, I think, the third episode of Grey's. And, when I read the pilot script for that and saw the first episode, because as a director, you look at what's been shot, and immediately I thought, this woman is has such a distinctive voice. And what I think Shonda's real gift is she's has this innate understanding of what people want to see in terms of popcorn, entertainment, soap opera value, but also with really smart dialogue and a lot of intelligence, and she takes on big issues. She makes big move stories. She's a fearless writer, and so she has this weird combination of guilty pleasure and a high IQ, and so people get engaged in her shows, and like Scandal, we really have been consistently building an audience from pretty much the grassroots. ABC was behind it, and we came out of the gate pretty well, enough to keep us going. But over the past, we did a short season for the first season, and now we're halfway through our second. And every week it gets bigger, and through Twitter, and she's just got a real following that devours what she does. And then I think in Scandal she's really kind of at the top of her form. She keeps turning in great scripts.
Yeah. I was about to ask what you make of, and there are so many stories in in politics and entertainment and beyond that can attest to the power of social media these days. But since you went there, I'll follow you in. There is this arc that this show has been on that is clearly, to my mind at least, and others have written about this, the result of a very aggressive social media campaign. So what have you come to appreciate or learn even more about the value or the power, at least, of social media in this business?
Well, it's new for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm of an age where I didn't have a whole lot of familiarity with it and interest in it, really. My two daughters, you know, live on Facebook, and their social media is their mode of communication. I was real skeptical of it. I felt I didn't really need Facebook. I didn't have any use for it personally. I didn't think professionally, and ABC asked us to get on Twitter as soon as the show came out. And I was a little snobby about Twitter. I thought, you know, this whole soundbite culture that we live in really gets on my nerves, that everything is, you know, boiled down to 140 characters, whatever. I said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we want you to. So I thought, all right. And then, you know, I knew that I was behind the times. So I thought, okay, well, let me check it out. And I must say, I was really uncomfortable with it first. And within a very short period of time, I was stunned by the scope and the power of it. And we do this thing on Scandal where we do live tweeting during an episode. So the cast, everyone who's available, will get on Twitter, and we communicate in real time with our fans. And there's a cascade of interest. And then all of a sudden, you know, something you said is trending on Twitter. And we watch that grow. And honestly, I realized it was a lot of fun.
This is impressive. You know what trending is now.
Yeah, well, it took me wait, that is trending? How did that work? No, literally, the first time I tweeted, I was terrified of the thing. I was like, wait, what button do I push? And what if I don't like what I said? And, you know, I sweated it. And then you get the hang of it. And now it's really fun. And I tweet with some regularity, and I've, you know, thousands of people, for some insane reason, are interested in some of what I have to say, which was part of getting it over. Like, who cares? But people